Hey garden friends, I'm Nikki from Proven Winners Direct, and I'm back in the greenhouse today ready to show you 7 more awesome plants for Plant of the Day beginning October 10th. Our first 2 plants are both Calibrachoa, and they are right next to each other, so this works out perfect for us. First up we have the Holy Moly, and as you can tell it's got this striking yellow and cherry red bicolor bloom. The second one is the Superbells Pink, and this girl holds her own with this color right here. Love them. Now it is getting a little bit cold to be planting annuals in northern climates. Mine are still holding on, but we are expected to get some frost this weekend and the temperatures are really dropping, so I'll be curious to see how much longer they last. But right now in southern states is the perfect time. Probably zones 9 to 11, you're completely safe. I'd even bargain to say zone 8. They still have plenty of time to perform for you, and in the spring it's going to be an even better show. So the thing about Calibrachoa that you want to make sure of is that you're not overwatering. They like a consistently moist soil, so you want to wait until the top, probably 3 inches, is dry before you rewater. I like to feed my Calibrachoa the same way I do super petunias. They're not as heavy as a feeder, but I've noticed that I get a lot more trailing out of them when I'm consistently feeding with the water soluble as well. So they grow to about 8 to 12 inches tall, and they can spill up to 2 feet, which is awesome. They also work better in containers. A lot of gardeners have said that they prefer them in pots over the ground. I think that consistent soil moisture and stuff has a lot to do with it. I love them in containers just because they fill up so nice and they spill out so nice. So I haven't even really tried them in the ground. We have over 40 different color varieties of these, so the world is your oyster with them. Our third plant of the day is the Toffee Tart Heuchera, the coral bells. And you guys, I fall more and more in love with Heuchera with every passing day. This is actually one of my very most favorite spots in the greenhouse in the spring and summer because it's just a sea of gorgeous color. And while Heuchera is super easy to grow and care for, that's my favorite part. You have magnificent, consistent color all season long. Now these guys grow to be about 8 to 18 inches tall and wide. They're perfect along a pathway or in the front of any garden bed. And what I love most too is that they can also work in containers. Any plant that I can start in a container and then transition to the ground is a winner in my book. They start out a really rich amber color, and then they transition to more of a ginger looking color, but they're gorgeous, perfect right now for fall. Now unlike some of our Heucheras, these guys do need a bit more shade. So you're going to want to make sure you're putting them in a full shaded spot, or they can probably tolerate some dappled morning sun. But anytime we've got these nice rich colors in the foliage, the sun kind of washes that out. So make sure that you're sticking these in a full shade spot. But no matter what, you're going to have gorgeous color all season long. Our fourth plant is the Invincible Lymetta Smooth Hydrangea. And I could literally put this guy in any one of my garden beds and it would be my favorite all season long because it has beautiful, gorgeous green blooms. And he only gets to be about 3 to 4 feet tall. So we could put him anywhere. I haven't really been able to master the entire garden wheel in my gardens yet, but mainly because I don't have enough space, and so I'm not willing to sacrifice my favorite colors. But this guy will start off this perfect lime green, which you can kind of see in the few little buds around me, and then it'll transition to a more muted green in the summer, late summer, which I totally love because green goes with everything, right? Now, to achieve the sturdiest stems and the biggest blooms, you're going to want to plant this guy in at least 6 hours of sun a day. Southern gardeners can get away with a little bit less, some shade is okay. But the beauty of the Invincible Hydrangea is that Proven Winners put a lot of energy into making sure that the stems were going to be sturdy enough to hold up the beautiful blooms that it produces. So lots of sun is going to help support that. Next up, we have the Oh So Easy Hot Paprika Rose, and these landscape roses have been exploding in popularity because of their disease resistance and low maintenance personalities. You are not going to have to spend your time and energy and money in repeatedly spraying and pruning this series of roses, and that for me is a huge win. And on top of that, they have a really nice low growing habit that can help keep the weeds down. Bonus. They grow to about 2 feet tall and wide. They're very hardy for a rose. These guys can tolerate really cold winters and those extreme heats in the southern climates. It's hardy from zones 3 to 9, so that's incredible. They really are oh so easy. Next up, we have the little Quickfire panicle hydrangea, and this is the dwarf version of the Quickfire. It blooms just as early, but it only gets to be about 1/3 of the size, so it's great in the landscape and in containers. The blooms start off white, and then they transition to a really pretty burgundy color that the bees and the hummingbirds will love. And one of the best things about the Quickfire is that these guys actually bloom up to a month early than other panicle hydrangeas. So it's a really great way to lengthen your hydrangea season. They grow 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. They're hardy in zones 3 through 8, and they prefer part to full sun. Panicle hydrangeas are really foolproof. So if you've been wanting to try a hydrangea, I really suggest one of the Quickfires. The Quickfires bloom on new wood, so you won't have any pruning fears, and they are sure to put on a gorgeous show even after a really cold and snowy winter. They're super easy to care for, they have a really nice growth habit, and they just put on months and months and months of beautiful color. Our final plant is the Gatsby Moon Oakleaf Hydrangea, and these guys are huge! I was so excited when we walked by and I saw how big and beautiful they are. So, the best thing about the Gatsby Moon is they have these really tightly packed little white florets that make this gorgeous cone-shaped bloom. Gorgeous. And they start out a pure white, they'll transition to a jade green in the summer. Stunning. Probably my favorite thing about these is that in the fall, and you can tell that it's starting, the foliage turns to a red wine, burgundy, gorgeous color. So can you just picture these jade green, huge, massive blooms on burgundy foliage? I'm dying over these. They're gorgeous. Now, I'm not saying we saved the best for last, but we definitely saved one of the best for last. So these big guys are going to get up to about 8 feet tall, and I would flip out to see a long old hedge of these guys in Michigan right now. I would die. So these guys are hardy in zones 5 through 9, so they are not as cold tolerant as some of our other hydrangeas. So if you live in the north, you might want to give them some winter protection just to be safe for the first couple of years. And if you're in the south, you're going to want to make sure that they definitely have afternoon shade. They're not going to tolerate any of that really harsh heat in the afternoons. So as we were walking through the greenhouse, we found this whole other set of the Gatsby Moon hydrangeas, and so I just had to stop and show you this beautiful color. I love it so much, and it's just going to keep transitioning to that beautiful red wine color. I love it. It's going to be perfect for fall. So there you have it, 7 more plants to add to your collection. Now, we ship plants all year round. So I know that for sad gardeners like me in the north, our time is winding down so fast. But if you are in the south and you are going to continue planting, you can find all of the plants from today and hundreds more on our website, www.provenwinnersdirect.com. Happy planting!